The silence that followed us here to our arrival at the 100-line Last Defense Academy stretched on until Hiroko finally spoke up. I just have one last question, Shoma. Do the words back or heart ring any bells? Back or heart? No, I have no idea. Thank you. Your reaction was the answer I needed. I guess that's that, Takumi. Yeah, X must have done it if Shoma wasn't involved in that particular affair. Everybody was looking at us in confusion, probably because nobody knew that someone had stolen the hearts from the dead bodies. And Shoma started trembling like a leaf as if he suddenly remembered something. Oh no, that's it, I'm done for. I've told you about X. The bomb inside me is going to blow up now. I heard her. Doing this again, eh? Nothing's happening. Did this X person lie to you? I think they must have. An amateur can't possibly make a detonator for the bomb in our bodies. Only someone with my level of skill and experience. So Mr. Kinzaki won't be executed? Then I'll do it myself. I'll kill you. I'll tear you limb from limb. Ima let out a guttural roar and charged towards Shoma so quickly nobody had time to react. He shoved Shoma to the ground, clambered on top of him, and started strangling him so hard it almost seemed like he might rip his head off.
Go to hell!
Yes, get rid of him! Get rid of him!
Ima, no!
I ran over in a panic and pulled Ima off. Shoma had fainted and was frothing at the mouth. Yugamu darted over and conducted a quick check.
He's fine. Just passed out.
Too bad.
Damn it! Damn it! Dear sister! My dear sister! My dear sister!
After that heartbreaking outburst, Ima simply collapsed on the spot. Nozomi and Tsubasa rushed over and started comforting him. Everybody else was at a loss, simply staring quietly at Ima as they stood rooted to the spot. The sound of Ima's pained wails echoed coldly and endlessly through the walls of the building. Good. He belongs there. We moved the unconscious Shoma into the cage in the courtyard and made sure it was properly locked. And thank you for not putting him in Eva's. That would have been fucking creepy. Once that was done, I shoved the key deep inside my pocket. Uh-oh, that's gonna be a problem later, isn't it? Everyone returned to their rooms without saying a word. I soon found myself completely alone. Looking up into the night sky, I thought about what had happened. Kako's case had been solved, but that didn't mean it was all over. Someone out there killed Gaku and instructed Shoma to kill Kako. This was likely the same person who had been stealing hearts from the bodies in the morgue. X. The real mastermind behind this string of events. I had to find out who this person was by hook or by crook, and I would, no matter what I did. I clenched my fists tightly. I would let nothing shake me from this firm resolve. That being said...
Guys! Wake up! Something's happened!
I gotta know what will happen if we do something else here. Is Rosana the one behind this? Is Omi the one behind this? By Kako herself. Mr. Sumino, what do you mean by that? Are you trying to suggest that my dear sister, even though you clearly said before it was a murder, I can't call it. You're the killer after all, ain't you? Takumi, very suspicious. That's what I'm trying to tell you from the start. Bottle. You leave us with no choice but to lock you up. Wait, this is a mistake. I was just... Wait, is this gonna go somewhere? Or is it just an ending? In the end, I was detained by the others and locked inside the cage in the courtyard. What possessed me to even say that? I couldn't remember, but it was too late for regrets. I had no strength left to even sigh. Only a little while later, my consciousness fled from me. Wait, shit, really? Oh my god! I had no idea how long I was unconscious. When I next opened my eyes, I saw that the cage had been unlocked. Unsure of what that meant, I pushed the door open nervously and stepped outside. Oh, no. I don't want to get... It's eerily silent all around. There were no... you know what? I don't want to get spoiled. You know what? I thought it would be a gag. I don't want to risk getting an ending here, so I'm going to load back where we were. Okay, back to day 51. We're going to pretend that did not happen. I do want to check something, though. Did it... Other... Shoma. Okay, so it is just one or the other. That's fine, I guess.
Guys! Wake up! Something's happened!
Hey, you're not going to believe this. Kako did it! Upon hearing that loud cry, I dashed out of my room. What happened? What's going on? Oh, it's up early, so I went to check on Shoma, and... Shoma, what happened to him? Just come with me, quickly. We all knew where we were going. Everybody made a mad dash for the courtyard together. We ran through the second-floor hallway and burst into the courtyard, then ran toward the cage without stopping. There we saw, is he blown up, or...
Shoma!
Kyoshka grabbed the gate and tried to open it. So now we're back to blaming Takumi, right?
Doesn't Takumi have the key?
Hold on, I'll unlock it now.
I dug the key out of my pocket and slotted it into the keyhole. Once the gate was unlocked, I opened it and went inside. I immediately ran to Shoma and touched his neck, checking for a pulse. At that moment, something felt a little off.
It's wet.
What?
I touched his clothes, and they were all wet as well.
Well, is he alive or not?
I already checked that. As you can clearly see, he's already...
Maybe we can still revive him if we bring him to the infirmary like last time.
As I had touched the body, I knew already that too much time had passed. I decided to go along with it anyway.
Yeah, we should try that.
Why did you say it like that? Cause of death, hemorrhagic shock, estimated time of death, day 51. But okay, so it's not between 1 and 4 again, but that could just narrow this killer's active hours to between 2 and 4. Multiple stab wounds on the chest and abdomen. The murder weapon is likely a sharp blade, about 8 inches long. Too much time has passed since death. Insufficient cryptoglobin present in body. Impossible to revive. Was that always there? That thing underneath Tsubasa? Is it like the instruction manual? Maybe that's what it is. And after everyone had a chance to view the monitor, the mood in the room became heavier. What the hell's going on? How'd the killer get to Shoma when the cage was locked? Takumi, did you lock your door last night? Yes, I did, so nobody could have stolen the key from me while I was sleeping. And I know I'm repeating myself, but that key is unique. It cannot be copied. Well, that narrows down the list of possible suspects to just Takumi, right? Don't you ever get tired of mindlessly repeating the same thing? Seriously, that is your character a lot, Takumi. Kind of, yeah.
Hey!
Aren't we overlooking the other possibility that he stabbed himself like before?
Yeah.
This time in a way that would be impossible for us to revive him. I can't think of any other reason why he'd wind up dead in a locked cage in the middle of the night. Well, then who supplied him with the knife? It had to be X, right? If it was X, they would have passed him some gamma-feel in a syringe. Yeah, ain't no one strong enough to keep mutilating yourself like that without being drugged the hell out of their mind. He could have used one of the bottles that had been stolen previously. We moved Shoma's remains to the morgue. There were now 4 bodies lying on tables there. At Ima's request, we made sure that Kako's and Shoma's bodies were not placed next to each other. Well, I think that's fair. Ima walked to Shoma's dead body and stared at it for a long time. Then he said, "You got what you deserved." He's not wrong. After that, we investigated the courtyard together. Despite combing over every inch of the area, we found no trace of a knife or syringe. The only thing we found was
Ah,
a balloon. It was lying on the floor near Shoma's cage. Although I couldn't immediately figure out if it was related to the case, I decided to stuff it to my pocket and not tell anyone I found it, just in case. Soon, the last rays of sunlight disappeared into the horizon, and the darkness of night took over. It was already way past dinner time. Seeing that none of us had an appetite after that, we skipped the cafeteria and gathered at the rec room instead. I feel like at the fucking pool, like I feel like the leisure line. Oh wait, no. All right, this is where I thought. That makes the 3 people who have lost their lives because of X. We don't know for sure if X had anything to do with Shoma's case yet. Of course they did. We'd all be in serious trouble if it wasn't X. Because that would mean there are 2 killers of X's caliber running around free. So who do you think X might be? Everyone fell silent. This was the question I was dreading the most, and it seemed like the others felt the same. Ever since Shoma shared his story of Ever since Shoma shared his side of the story last night, we'd all been avoiding that particular issue. It was time to face reality. I steeled myself and turned to Tsubasa. Tsubasa, do you still have the organic life detection device? Yeah.
Oh.
12. The exact number as the people present here. That means someone among us is X. Or it's an ego. No, wait. It could have been someone who came in at midnight and left the school before the sun came up. Sadly, that's not possible. This device comes with a history log. 4 a.m. last night, the number changed from 13 to 12 and stayed there. Aha. So, Shoma, why did you wait until now to say this? So Sir Shoma was murdered at 4 a.m. last night. Huh? Yeah? Miss Magadori, we are discussing something more important here. No, that's important. The number reduced by 1, and Shoma lost his life, but after that, it either went up or down, proving that nobody came into the school or left it, right? Yeah. Thing is, we're all screwed if we don't do something. X threatened to kill us all in that message, and they're doing just that. The more we put this off, the more people will be dropping dead one by one. Well, I agree with the part about doing something at least. Hey, Takumi, you're the leader. Come up with something. Or maybe, how about we make it compulsory to move around in groups of at least 3 during the day? Didn't someone mention before that 3 is a risky number? 3 is the riskiest number that will ever be. That was because your 2 other teammates could be working together. But the situation has changed. According to Shoma, X is just 1 person. That's right, so a group of 3 should be fine. What about at night? Feels like that's the main thing. So far, all of them were taken out at night. And we should decide our destiny. Ah, the gym plan. Phew, done and done. Are we all going to be sleeping here from now on? How bland and boring. Getting evacuation center vibes here. Would you prefer bland and boring or dead in a ditch? We've used curtains to divide the area up into rooms so everybody will have some semblance of privacy. Is this really gonna work? What if the killer strikes while we're all sleeping? In fact, that's why we've avoided sleeping in one spot until now, right? Yes, and that's why I'm thinking of having a sentry system. 3 people will be on watch at all times. We'll also rotate 1 person out every hour. And if anything happens, just shout. That's reassuring. Now I can get a good night's rest. My skin will thank me. Looks like we're agreed then. This arrangement should stop X from causing further harm. We should be safe for a while. Now, we just had to continue our investigation and expose X's identity before they tried anything else. There was just one other thing that was bothering me. Shoma was killed today. I saw his body with my own eyes, which meant... Yes? Excuse me? I woke up at the sound of the morning announcement. The first thought to cross my mind at that time was not again, along with a sense of resignation. You couldn't have just done a days past. Alright, let's see where it's going. Looking up at the unfamiliar ceiling, it took me a few seconds to realize I was in the gym. I stood up from my makeshift bed and pulled open the curtain divider and stepped outside. Takumi! He awakens! I ain't one to sweat the small stuff, but you gave us a real scare this time. You were out for 23 whole days! Is that a new record? Oh, for the love of murder. I turned slowly to look at everyone, then said, everyone's safe. Thanks to your last words, my last words. For us to move in groups during the day and sleep together at night. Remember, these were the instructions you gave us all on day 51. We've been able to survive all this time because of them. X hasn't had an opportunity to strike. It also means X is still... Yes, we still don't know who they are. If we did, we would have thrown them in the cage and tossed away the key already. Now that I got a better look at them, I saw signs of fatigue on everyone's faces. X is among us. I'll be killed if I only walk around with only one person. They've all had to spend the last 23 days under that crushing weight, under the crushing weight of such thoughts. It's no wonder their mental fatigue was starting to show physically. Oh, right, there's something you need to know. What is it? About 10 days ago, we met the boy with the undying flames. He was not called that before. I thought about this the last time I caught it. I was like, it's a one-off. This root has done some weird things like that. Like, why is it with undying flames? Usually isn't it made of? He showed himself? Yeah. Well, he was feeling very unwell, but he said he just had to tell us. And what was that? I recently found out that there's something called a distress signal transmitter somewhere in this school. It was put here in the event of all but one member of Team 1 dying. Only Team 1, though, because the two teams joining together had not been anticipated. What? People on the satellite did not think Team 2 would ever come here. What? At any rate, no matter that, but that's not true. The school bus is proof of that. That the plan was for them eventually to do that. At any rate, no matter how strong they were, a single fighter wouldn't be able to win this war on their own. Instead, that survivor would be extracted and put on standby while the people in charge put together a fresh team for a new attempt. I don't believe that. Once the correct series of codes had been entered into the transmitter, it would, well, transmit a distress signal. Once the artificial satellite received it, they'd send a rescue craft to the school. I don't believe it. The survivor would get on board and be taken back to the satellite. That's supposed to be the sequence of events. I don't believe it. Also, the rescue craft does not have a capacity restriction. That means people from both teams 1 and 2 can board with no issues. That second-to-last academy does not have a transmitter of its own, so bringing the team over here was definitely the right move. Unfortunately, I do not know where that transmitter is located. Still, it seemed to me like this information could be of some use to you. It is why I came here to tell you about it. You're kind of on shaky ground. A distress signal transmitter. I've never seen or heard such a thing before. Same here. After hearing that, we split up into groups to search for the transmitter, but...
We still haven't found it!
It doesn't matter. We have to put the transmitter on the back burner for now. Finding the identity of X was our top priority. X was most likely the one to kill Shoma. Or they could have ordered someone else to do it like they did for Kako. At any rate, X was absolutely involved in Shoma's murder. As long as we could figure out who killed Shoma, we'd find out who X is. All right. I clenched my fists tightly. Yuruko, Tsubasa, come with me. What? Where? To the courtyard. I'm going to reinvestigate the scene of Shoma's murder. Very well. I'll go along with this. I don't mind, but... What's that? We have breakfast first. I am starving. And thus, Yuruko, Tsubasa, and I went to the courtyard together after having breakfast. Why did you ask us to come along? I can't go against my own last words, now can I? Say about moving together in groups during the day? But why choose us? No reason in particular, I just felt like it. Felt like it? One of us could very well be X. Then it'll be a 2-on-1 fight. What if X tries to destroy evidence during this investigation? I'm not worried. They would have already done that while I was unconscious if it was that important. Yes, that is true. And what are you investigating? One question before I answer that. Nobody had an alibi for 4 a.m. on day 51, right? When Shoma was killed? Yes, we were all sleeping in our rooms. Well, Eitova was in Eito's room, actually, but you know what I mean. What about the murder weapon or any other clues? So far, we haven't found anything. In that case... fastest way to identify X is to see who could have possibly killed Shoma under those circumstances. The killer likely used a special method to kill Shoma while he was locked in the cage. Figuring out what that method was could break this case wide open. Who could have done that was thus the best line of investigation to pursue. And how exactly are we going to do that? This place is so big that I have no idea where to even start. We need some sort of clue first. There is a clue. Shoma's body was wet when we first found it, remember? I think finding out why may very well be the key to solving this case. I walked over to the courtyard fountain. There was a valve with a handle on the side, probably for adjusting the amount of water being spouted. I opened it completely and then... a frightening amount of water gushed out all at once, making the fountain look like it was an erupting geyser or open dam. The giant column of water shot up into the sky and came down again like a downpour of rain. I quickly turned the valve handle to close the valve. Soon the water slowed considerably and went back to its normal flow. Phew, that was close. What exactly were you trying to do? I'm glad I was standing over here. I'd be all wet by now if I'd been any closer. Next, I checked the central drain. It was more like a tunnel than a drain. The water flowed deep into that tunnel. There was a large handle here as well. I turned the handle and a wall came down from the top of the tunnel, completely sealing up the drain. After checking it, I returned the handle to its original position. I briefly saw Hiroko staring at me in confusion as I proceeded to my next destination, the cage where Shoma had been held. We already checked every last inch of that cage. There are no hidden tunnels underneath, and the bars are as strong as can be. No scratches on the lock either, and no traces that anything had been tampered with. The hinges of the gate are also untouched. I don't know, the pacing's kind of off here, but whatever. As I was listening to them, my eyes wandered to the top of the cage. Officially, this cage is an animal pen. I think it was supposed to be modeled after a bird cage or something. You see that ring suspended from the top there? Yes, what about it? I didn't answer, instead lowering my glance to the bottom of the cage where something caught my eye. The cage isn't secured to the floor. It's just a bottomless cage placed... oh no. On top of a base. But the cage is impossible to move manually. It literally weighs a ton. How do you know that? There was a blueprint of the courtyard on the war room's computer that had some information about it. I see, so it weighs 1 ton. Hey, that reminds me. Did you know this courtyard was originally created as a biotrope for space development research? Biotrope. I'll try to keep the explanation as brief as possible. It said that before World Death, Earth was full of different kinds of terrain, like arid regions and rainforests. Each one of these regions was inhabited by living things unique to that area, including plants, microorganisms, and vertebrates. For research purposes, this place had originally been created as a perfect replica of the ecosystem those creatures had been living in. That's why there are blasts of hot air to simulate a desert environment. It can also withstand atmospheric pressures many times Earth's range. But wouldn't that amount of pressure cause the windows to break? What are you talking about? Those things over there aren't windows. They're all display screens, including the ceiling. Look carefully, and you'll see the light flickering every once in a while. There's no way this sky could be visible from here. We are inside the school, after all. You might be right, but what about the exits on both sides connected to the hallways? Atmospheric pressure can escape from those exits when it gets too high, right? Those places were closed in the beginning, closed by partition walls, don't you remember? Oh, right. They opened up after C-Ray released them. In other words, as long as the walls on these exits and drains are down, the courtyard is a completely sealed space. A completely sealed space. So, like, flooding? You done here? Shall we return to the gym? Not yet. There's just one more thing. This. What is this, citizens? I've got no idea. I actually would keep going, but I'm getting really dizzy. I don't know if I've eaten today. So until next time, I'm afraid this is going to have to be, and it's really going to have to be, farewell.